In this video, I want to talk to you about something that every small YouTuber goes through, but nobody talks about honestly. You spend hours coming up with ideas, filming, editing, posting, and then nothing happens. You get no views, no comments, maybe one like if you're lucky, and at one point you start thinking, what's the point of all of this? Why am I even doing this? If you felt that, you're not alone. But here's one thing that people don't realize. This phase that's super quiet, where nothing really happens on the surface, this is actually the most important part in your YouTube journey. And at the end of this video, you'll realize why you're not behind, you're actually at the beginning of something that people quit way too early. First of all, I want to say that you need to focus on the reps, not the results. You see, people quit most likely after video 20. That's just the statistics. Most people actually quit before their 20th video. In fact, I'm guilty of this because when I started this YouTube channel, I made maybe 3 or 4 videos and I almost quit. I stopped posting for about a month and I just wasn't in that phase. But here's the thing. When you first start posting, your videos are not going to be that great, or at least they shouldn't be as good as the one that you do after a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. And when you see big YouTubers, the ones that you aspire to be or to look like, they did the very same thing. Their video quality was bad, their editing was bad, and the worst part of all of this is that the presence on camera was bad. Because here's the thing, if you're trying to be an entertainment channel, so be it. This is not the video for you, or it might be. But if you want to build something that's meaningful and you want to share something that you know about on YouTube and go explain your journey, which is exactly what this channel is about, you're going to go through these phases of, my very first video is probably going to be bad, my camera presence is bad, but because you're not just trying to entertain people, you're also trying to build a connection with your audience, have more raw content. And I say this a lot in my content, I think sometimes it's misunderstood, but the videos that I watch again, or the videos that I do watch are always, or most of the time, very uncut and just somebody talking to the camera. And I think that's outperforms a lot of perfect retention videos that are coming out. And that's exactly what I try to do. I do put some cuts because I need to look at my notes and things like that, but realistically, I'm striving towards having like a one-shot video. That's my goal. Anyway, I digress. The point of making videos to me is not to go viral, it's to build a real connection. And when you have no camera presence, which is everybody when they first start, your videos are not going to get views unless you're natural. But most people that start brand new YouTube channels and that blow up, they've had some sort of unfair advantage that you can't replicate. But you also have an unfair advantage, which is your own story that you can share with the world. So because you're early in the process, that's the reason why. So you shouldn't be focused on getting hundreds of thousands of views or even 1,000 views. What you should be focusing is getting in reps, improving what you can step by step, improving 1% by 1%, and that will make your video, after the 100th video, the 1,000th video, your videos are going to be so much better than when you first posted your first video. And the byproduct of that is getting views or clients or whatever your goal is on YouTube. The next thing that I want to point out is the algorithm needs data. So if you post one video, it's probably not going to be good enough anyway. And the algorithm doesn't know who wants to watch your video, so they'll send your video to a bunch of people that they think might be interested in it, and most likely they'll not watch it, they won't click on it, your click-through rate will be bad, and people won't even get to watch the video. And if they're interested, they might watch the first part of the video and quit super early. But once you get to have 10, 50, 100 videos, most likely YouTube will pick up on that and they'll understand who wants to watch your videos. And with that, the click-through rate will go up. The people that are enjoying your videos and commenting on your videos, they'll increase. And that's the way that your videos will get more and more views, because once you get the first point, which is improving on yourself with your camera presence, editing and so on, your storytelling, but also you'll feed the algorithm what it needs in order to share your videos with the right people. And when they resonate with some people, then that's when channels just start to grow exponentially. The next thing which we can kind of feed on this, and it took me a very long time to understand this, but your videos are not just videos. They're part of a whole portfolio. So let's say you make a video about cooking, then you make a video about walking your dog, then you make a video about growing on YouTube. It's going to confuse everyone. However, if you start to have a process of, what you want to talk about on YouTube, which is growing on YouTube for me, and it might be something completely different for you, one video will be part of a whole series of videos, of different videos, so that when somebody finds one video super interesting, so they'll watch this video that you're watching right now, hopefully, and they'll think, oh, this is a really great video, it helped me a lot. Let's see what he has left. So if you've made a bunch of random videos, they'll just click off. But if you've made videos about the same sort of topic, people will come back to those videos, watch a lot of videos, and hopefully subscribe to this channel. That is something that you do need to keep in mind when you're filming your videos, because, or especially when you're finding ideas for your videos, is make sure they're for the right audience, because they'll be part of a whole series of videos. The next thing that you do need to understand is people don't subscribe to videos. They subscribe to a whole person, to a whole thing that they trust. So if you have 1 to 20 videos, most likely people are not going to subscribe, even if they like your videos, even if they think that every single video is great, or especially if they find one video great and not the rest. One video is just not enough. And you've seen this with multiple creators, where they have one video that blows up, the next one does sort of well, and then it comes back to where it was, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But you also need to realize that people need to trust you to subscribe. And that's super important. That's why I try to keep my videos as honest, as vulnerable, as, raw as possible, because that's what I want to create with my audience, to create trust, not just to have a big spectacle. As I've said, I don't want to be famous for making jokes on camera. I want to help people, to have an impact on people's lives. If I manage to do that, I would consider that my YouTube channel is successful. But it's not one video that's going to do this. If I have a viral video, and I've had one that did, sort of viral for my size channel, and it went back down, and I was super happy because of the comments that I got, that, people were super hooked into the video. But one video is not enough to have that consistently happen. One thing that YouTube happens to do a lot is to build resilience. You see, especially at the beginning, when you're getting 5 to 10 views per video, it can get really, really tiring super fast, because it feels like nobody cares about what you're doing. Your videos are crap, and you don't know what to do. You've put your best effort into the videos, and when I first started, that's why I stopped posting after a month, because I was really struggling to find the motivation when you're getting 0 to 5 views, sometimes 0 views. But actually, YouTube rewards exactly that. That is posting every single time. So, or every time that you should be posting, let's say once a week. If you're managing to push through, even if you don't want to post your video because your last video was crap and people don't watch it, and it wasn't necessarily the worst video that you thought was going to be bad, but it just didn't get views. At least that's my experience. So when you have a video do super bad, then it's really hard to post your next one. But if you do, and your next one is bad or doesn't get views or comments, and you post your next one and same happens, one thing that is going to start to shift is you're going to start to disconnect your videos that don't do well to the ones that actually do well. And I've realized this. And once you start to do this, it's going to be so much easier because you're posting a video to make a better video, not to get views. And when you do get the views, obviously that's going to happen. You're going to be happy about it, especially if you get some engagement and people comment on your video and things like that, or subscribe. But if your video flops, it's still going to hurt, but at least you put in your best effort and you'll realize that the next video, even though your previous video didn't do well, your next video is going to be easier to film because you're getting used to it, and it's just something that you do. It's part of your journey and it's resilience, and you build that by posting videos when you don't want to, and that is usually when your videos flop. The next thing that I want to mention, and I think I've mentioned this in the past 5 videos, but it really impacted me. I saw this video from a creator called James Smith, and he said in one of his videos, and he's a super successful entrepreneurial business YouTuber, which is super interesting because he's built a business out of YouTube, and he's kind of, I look up to him a lot. So he posted a video and he said that he posted 1,000 videos or content before he got any real traction. 1,000 pieces of content. That is something massive, and that's something that, I wanted to be monetized by the 15th of April, and it's now the 14th, so I would basically need 900 subscribers and a bunch of watch hours. I've said this in the previous videos as well. So it's not going to happen most likely. There's still one day to go, and maybe this video gets 1 million views or something and all the watch hours and all the subscribers that I need, but most likely it's not going to happen. But I haven't posted 1,000 videos, and I think that's super important because it really keeps you grounded and keeps you going. Because I think that most creators that don't succeed on YouTube, it's not because they're lacking camera presence or they're lacking video ideas or anything along those lines. It's just that they're quitting way too early because they're getting the videos that flop and get 5 views or 10 views like I had at the beginning of this channel. And even if they do grow a little bit to the point that they have 100 subscribers, like I'm almost there, they're still not getting a bunch of views and a bunch of subscribers and engagement. And that's why they quit, because maybe you're 1 year in, 2 years in, 5 years in, and still your videos aren't getting good, or views, and you're still not getting monetized, and you still don't have comments, you don't have a lot of people subscribe to your channel, and all of this sucks. But it's also part of the journey, and it's also why some people make it. It's just because they didn't stop. And yes, some people succeed faster, and you wish you would succeed faster. I know I do. But at the end of the day, their journey is theirs, and you don't know what's behind. And if it takes you 5 years to get monetized, so be it, but at least you're enjoying the process. And I think enjoying the process is one of the keys to not give up. Also, I want to mention that your bad videos are not a bad thing, because they're valuable. I posted, as I keep talking about my very first videos that didn't get views, and now they got a bit more than 0 views. But I still keep them up because it gives me an idea of where I started, and if in 5 years I'm making way better content, I'm having way more camera presence, I know what I want to say, and my videos are way clearer and I'm better at storytelling, that means that I'm improving something in every single one of my videos. And if I look back at my first video and think, wow, this was really lame, then that's a great thing. And I don't want to delete those videos. I don't think anybody should delete their first video. And I don't think that a lot of big creators actually did delete them. Some of them probably did, or put them in whatever it's called, not public or something like that, private. And I think that's better to have them in public, and if people want to watch your very first video, they can, especially if you start to have some sort of success, whatever that means to you. Hopefully it's not just being viral. I think that's not a good way to look at it, because you always want more views. But if you make a video that gets a ton of engagement, which is what I'm trying to get when I post my videos, that help people, that people are super happy to watch, then I think that's some success to me. And if you build a business off it, then you can start to get some clients of whatever business that is. You know, I actually saw somebody talking about a business gardening, or you know, a landscaping business that he had, and he seemed super passionate about it. And I thought, if this guy just did his business and didn't talk about it on social media, then I think the world would miss, you know, this person. So everybody's got their own audience and passions that they want to share, or their life stories that they want to share, and that I think is super smart. So with that said, I posted my last video that did pretty alright, and I think you should watch it. And you know, I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.